2 generations ago, it somehow seemed like the summer holidays always coincided with mango season, and we were forever outdoors eating mangoes in the summer. Mango was such a part of our everyday life. It was woven into our folklore and our storytelling traditions.
Remember the Osimo joke when Osimo froze toes behind one ripe mango, he couldn't get it. He climbed it, he smelled it, he touched it, he said it ripe, and he gone back down throwing more stones at the mango instead of picking it right there on the tree, you know.
In those days, mango was everywhere and in abundance, and it seemed to represent a time of freedom and gaiety.
Avant mango take a bon manikou, take a soin piti, you know, it tells you something about where we esteem mango. Mango is a time we have plenty.
Where did they come from? How did they get here? And what is the link between the mango and how we can strengthen our resilience in the face of climate change?
In where we call Burma and in the foothills of the Himalayas, East India. Hence the name Mangifera indica.
Traditionally, mangoes were concentrated along riverbanks, ridges, steep slopes, and roadsides. In the process of clearing their land, farmers, unfortunately, significantly reduced the mango tree population. This would eventually increase St. Lucia's vulnerability to natural disasters in an era of climate change. We saw the evidence during recent violent hurricanes and quite starkly during huge rainfall events from Hurricane Thomas and the Christmas Eve trough. Proof indeed that climate change had become our reality. What exactly causes climate change?
We speak of greenhouse gases, and those are the gases that we find in the atmosphere through the process of industrialization, where you have many more factories emitting those gases, and you also have transportation sector with many more vehicles on the roads, in the air, on the sea, everywhere. Those gases are forming a blanket in the upper atmosphere, a blanket that is preventing the heat from escaping to space. So while a lot of the heat is supposed to escape, now a lot of it is being trapped in the earth and causing us to get warmer, and we speak of global warming.
The projections that we have for our region, and more importantly for St. Lucia, are that we expect to see declining rainfall over the coming decades. If we are able to one, plant trees to protect our soil, 2, help to maintain our water supply, 3, to provide a buffer, which is what mango trees do because of their root system in times of extreme weather. As we know, planting trees helps to reduce carbon emissions in the long term because trees, as they grow, absorb carbon dioxide. They sequester carbon, so to speak.
So, for example, with reforestation, with trees, with planting of trees, you are able to have some of that carbon become sequestered or stored in those plants, in those trees.
Well, obviously, there is a connection between mangoes and adapting to climate change. The stark reality is that our lands are being lost to landslides triggered by heavy or prolonged rains. Consequently, our homes are threatened, our agricultural lands are being washed away gradually, and our water sources becoming silted or are drying up. Our farmers have a responsibility to help minimize the impacts of climate change, and one way of doing so is by planting lots of trees, including mango trees.
You could plant mango as one of the crops, as well as other crops that could have an economic effect in that you could get mangoes for sale, as well as it will have an effect on wildlife. Birds get fruits for food. You also have that shading of the river as well, which is important to reduce water loss through evapotranspiration, as well as to keep the river working in ecologically a proper manner. We planted a good few dozens in a line, and if you could see, this is one of the trees after 5 years almost fully grown, actually started bearing fruit already.
We've had a lot of landslides in areas, and when you look at the areas where the mango trees are, these areas remain really stable.
Well, we have no problems with landslips where we have mangoes. We've not had any problems.
Funny enough, the areas with the mangoes were more established. I had no landslides there.
We've heard the phrase biodiversity a few times already. What exactly is biodiversity?
Biodiversity is biological diversity. It's the variety of living things, the plants, the animals, the places where they live. And it also refers to diversity at the genetic level, so the diversity within genes, within species, and within the different types of ecosystems that we have, the different habitats.
The renewed focus on planting mango trees is not only good for the environment, but also for the economy and for the island's food security.
So we're talking food security here because climate change is going to affect agriculture. It's going to affect water supply. Tree cover helps to protect your water supply. It helps to maintain biodiversity. And the fact that we have so many different varieties of mango helps to maintain, helps to maintain our biodiversity in that context as well.
In fact, it's called the king of the fruits because it's used not just for eating, and it's not just an economic plant, it's good medicinally.
For example, vitamin A is very important for our vision. We need vitamin A for beautiful skin, for our mucous membranes, and vitamin A is also an antioxidant. You also have vitamin B6 in mangoes, and the role that vitamin B6 plays in the body is that it helps to control what you call homocysteine levels. Homocysteine is like an amino acid. It's a compound that if it's too high in the body, it can actually cause heart attacks. Mangoes are also high in potassium. Potassium helps to control our blood pressure, also helps with our controlling our heart rate.
The green mango skin is a good source of fiber. However, ripe, sweet mangoes must be consumed in moderation, especially during the mango season.
One of our things that is so plentiful is mangoes. Mangoes just fall off the tree, they drop on the ground, but what we're trying to do is use them up so that the guests that come in from England, America, that don't actually see mangoes, they can use them. We use it for breakfast, we use it for dinner, we also use it for sauces, salsas, chutneys, drinks. I mean, the sky's the limit with our mangoes.
Today we're going to demonstrate few little options you can try at home.
A nice idea I've done there is instead of having actually green blend season, take the green mango and combine with your green season. So you take green mango, I've taken your herbs and your garlic and your celery and everything else, and I've marinated, and that's my season for the fish. It's really about mangoes and the love of mangoes.
Mangoes also have the potential to create sustainable livelihoods. The mango product can be consumed raw, but it can also be processed to create jellies and jams and spa treatments, candles, and a host of other things.
I do the mango jam, I do the mango jelly, I do the mango chip, I do the red mango, I do the mango juice, I do the soup with the mango, the green mango. You can do chicken soup with it. You can do it with fish too. You can do a broth with your mango.
There's a lot to celebrate in the versatility and utility of mangoes, but a key function is its role in our response to climate change, to food security, sustainable land management, and the sustainability of livelihoods. That is a call to action not only for environmental agencies and policymakers, but also for land developers, homeowners, and entrepreneurs, for landscapers and families. But very disturbing are the quickly disappearing varieties that meant so much to past generations. Our mango diversity is seriously under threat. We must act now. We must find those disappearing varieties and propagate them for future generations. The urgent action is to reforest already affected and vulnerable steep slopes on our fragile riverbanks. Make an indigenous mango tree or two a must in your landscaping plans. Climate change is expected to bring more violent hurricanes, flooding and landslides, potentially more devastating than Hurricane Thomas and the Christmas Eve drought. At the other end of the spectrum are prolonged dry periods and confused wet and dry seasons. The least we can do is to plant a tree, a mango tree, while returning to the good old happy days where mango was king and can become crowned again.
Mango, merci pour mango, bien important pour nous.